Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
Hi, this is Mike. I was just calling to see if that job that you offered was still available.
This place was huge in the 80s with the kids. They shut it down years ago. The owner's just not ready to let it go yet. All you have to do is keep your eyes on the monitor.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's, where fantasy and fun come to life.
In the 80s, kids went missing. The police searched Freddy's top to bottom.
Hello?
They never found them.
Andy, I know this move has been really tough, but this is supposed to be a new start for us, remember? You said you were going to try to make new friends.
Mom, I need to tell you something, and I need you to believe me. I think Chucky did something.
Hi, Andy.
Captain Carol Freeman stands against...
I can't believe this. I wonder how Mariner's taking it.
Oh, I'm taking it. Taking it to the limit.
Did you time your entrance to say that?
What? No.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty.
It's on.
This is an unauthorized launch.
Whatever happens, we're gonna be right beside you.
We're in this together.
My head.
Or Starfleet! Hell yeah!
I guess we should probably come on here. I don't know.
Yeah, that we should. Yeah, maybe.
How's everybody doing?
Hello.
How's it going, Bobby?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Nothing exciting. You know, just working all the time.
Yeah.
Sleep is for wimps, by the way. Nobody likes sleep.
Few and far between.
I refuse to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I had a good weekend. Had a Halloween party this weekend.
Okay.
This will probably be the last week where I can actually use Ed Harris dancing as the opening, because
I don't know. I think you should keep it, or we should just keep it for Halloween every year.
Yeah, just Ed Harris dancing.
I think that's the thing. We should just keep that for Halloween and just use it every year.
I could probably be talked into that. It's so goofy. It's great.
It is. I mean, we could switch it to Crispin Glover dancing. He danced.
True. God, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
We could save that.
Friday 13 Part 4. That
is. Was that 4?
Yeah. No. That is my favorite one. Although 6 is really good as well. But yeah,
6 is good. I actually like. I like the one. It's 5. Where it's the medic.
Oh wow, 5's a weird one.
I like what they did, like just the different thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just much like Season of the Witch, I enjoy it just for that aspect. But when it comes to the ones with Jason,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't think he could beat that burlap sack. That 2.
Oh, 2. Oh wow. Well, that's the thing. Well, I will say the first three
Yeah, are
kind
fucking
of just
great.
your kid. Yeah, they're great, but like
Fucking great. Yeah.
they're all kind of the same too. Not
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily bad, but like it's all the same movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Different killers, or I guess not a different killer between 2 and 3, but like
Different killer
for
from
those
1
who
and
don't know
2.
your Friday history, the second one is Jason, but he's got a sack, and then the third one is the hockey mask.
He
That's
puts the
his
iconic mask on.
Yeah. Jason 3D, actually. Not Jason 3D. Friday 13th 3D. I always want to call the series Jason. It's not Jason. But yeah, it's well, we got some Halloween stuff to cover today. We got the Five Nights at Freddy's, which was terrifying. We have Child's Play 2019, which was terrifying, and we have Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, which was
fucking awesome.
It was pants pissing. It was terrifying. But we actually have some news to cover today because we don't cover news, but there's a couple of things that caught my eye. Obviously, like the big one that's been going around is Matthew Perry. Star Friends. I watched Friends in the day. It was entertaining. I haven't revisited it in a long fucking time, but I do remember he was funny.
Wasn't a fan. I enjoyed a lot of the stuff he did comedically in movies.
Yeah, I was about ready to say what I know him most for is Whole 9 Yards, which was awesome.
He was also in Chris Farley's last movie.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Almost Heroes. They play explorers
Nice.
exploring the early the North American continent.
Mm-hmm. But also, I want to say maybe like 10 years ago now, he was in that movie 17 Again with Zac Efron, where it's essentially like the body switching one. It's one that kind of went under the radar, but it's, as I recall, it's a decent fucking movie. So yeah, I mean, he's a talented guy. He obviously had issues with substance abuse his entire life. We don't know the cause of death, other than that he died in a hot tub from an apparent drowning, probably caused by something. But it's tragic. I do think he was a funny guy.
I know that he has been sober since 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he actually does a lot of great work for sober houses, and he has a few, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's been talking about that. I guess one of his lines recently was like, he doesn't want to be known for Friends. He wants to be known essentially as the guy that will help get you sober, and that's noble. It's a good cause to go for, because he had issues and he recovered as far as I knew. So it's just that's the biggest thing for me. Like for him to like struggle through so much and kind of get to the other end and then die tragically, it's disappointing. It's sad. But hopefully he does help other people recover. That would be a wonderful thing to be known for. Anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. Well, the other person who passed recently was Richard Mall, Night Court, the bailiff. He did lots of voices on Batman the Animated Series.
He was Two-Face.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
No, he did some great work.
Yeah. He was
know
the lead in like my favorite 2 episodes of that series, the Two-Face 2-parter. Like,
oh well, that God,
damn, that was some great performances.
No, that is like many characters on Batman the Animated Series. Two-Face was like my favorite version of Two-Face. It's like my favorite version of Mr. Freeze, my favorite version of Two-Face, my very favorite version of Clayface, all in that animated series.
Yeah,
just
man,
good stuff.
Great stuff in that show. But yeah, he also had he also was the ghost in Scary Movie 2.
It's been a long time since I've seen Scary Movie.
Totally was.
I will go with you.
I read it when I was reading something about his passing, and it had a still of him as a ghost. I was like, holy shit, that is him.
Yeah.
All right.
But I know there's lots of talk of whether or not he would return to the newer Night Court series, which I've seen a little bit of it, and it's fine. It's weird. Like, it's the new Night Court series. I don't know if you've checked it out at all. My take on it is that it's entertaining, but like I don't like it as much as the original. But that being said, like I was less than 10 when the original was on. So it's like, if I were to watch the original, would I love it now? I don't know. It is a classic.
Probably not. I mean,
but
older television's weird like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like after we watched The Exorcist 3, I found some episodes of Saint Elsewhere, which the guy who played Father Dryer, Ed Flanders, he was on, and I enjoyed the stuff with him on it. A lot of it seemed a bit off to me, but maybe I need to refresh it. But yeah, I don't know. I have not watched any Night Court. I'll have to check it out though.
But yeah, I think the new series is all right. It's not amazing, but it's all right. And
Okay.
I know, God, that series is like plagued at this point because like they were going into 2020 before it shut down. They were
Right.
working on the series. Marky Post and Charles Robinson were set to reprise their roles and come back. And then the show shut down, and during that time period, both of them died. And then John Larroquette came in to kind of fill in their shoes. And then there was talk of whether or not Marshall Warfield and Richard Mall would come back as the only other two surviving cast members from the original. And I guess Marshall Warfield did eventually come back, but Richard Mall sadly will not. But Jesus, yeah, it's kind of crazy how few cast members we have of that series left. Insane. But yeah, it's tragic. He was a great comedic actor. He was a great fucking Two-Face. He will be missed. Now, are we ready for some I think happy news? Are we ready for some potentially happy news?
I hope so.
New Beatles song is coming out, guys. November 2nd, we're getting a new Beatles song with the help of AI. And I want to stress, like, I think this is actually an example of AI being used properly. Like, my issues with AI is when it's being used to essentially replace people. But this is an example of AI doing something that only AI would do. Because apparently they had a John Lennon demo that the three of them worked on years ago, and just they couldn't really get anything out of the demo, so they just let it be. And now with AI, they've been able to fix up the demo.
Nice pun, by the way.
Okay. But now it does beg the question, since this was done recently, does George have any part to do with this? Did he record anything for them to use?
Because I know that he and John collaborated a lot together on in his John's solo career. John didn't return the favor to George, but George had cooler friends.
No, it's one of those things, like, kind of as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate George just more and more. Just like almost all his Beatles songs are just bangers, and his solo career is amazing. Like he's easily become my second favorite at this point.
You need to work on that order, but I know. I know. I know he's great. Have you listened to the Live in Tokyo album?
No, I have not. No.
Oh. I mean, nothing but bangers, but it's you know it will be. But Beware of Darkness on there is great.
So, like, I don't know if John's going to have any parts for this
I've heard. I'm a fan.
George.
I'm a fan of the Beatles, and I really enjoy diving into their stuff. So, whenever Yoko releases something from the estate of, like, tapes of his demos or whatever, I go through and listen to all of it, because it's fascinating to me to hear those building blocks. That's why I love the anthology albums so much, because a lot of them, especially in like the middle or the second and the third double album, you really get to hear like them working on stuff, trying it out this way. Oh, that didn't work. Let's change up the style of how we're playing it. Hey, that sounds kind of familiar. Or you hear it go like, yeah, I know this song. They're playing this. That's not the lyric I know. Was that a potential lyric? That's awesome. Stuff like that's cool to me. And I know that this is a demo, and I know if you dig enough, you could find the actual demo of John's demo on YouTube.
Probably.
And I mean, I know that back then they would record their demos like on a little reel-to-reel tape or a cassette tape. So I imagine over the years, the quality of that media hasn't really held up well, and I'm sure it hasn't been kept in the best of conditions, or at least ideal. So natural wear and tear will come with that. So using the AI to beef it up more in a sense of like in the mix, that's good. I think that's a good use of it. I just would have a problem if they emulate George's part.
Yeah, if they use
I'll have a
AI to make
major
George's part,
problem with
I'm
that.
not cool with that. I would rather they just left him out entirely. As much as I love George, just leave him out entirely. I mean, I've heard like them do AI to like fake voices and stuff like that, and it's like it's okay, but it's like it's not the same. It's like the emotionless version of the voice frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's kind of
So
like
yeah.
somebody doing a very bad impersonation.
Mhm. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope maybe when they were playing with it, they got some recordings of George working on it and they could work that into it. But yeah, there's possibly this Beatles song without George, which would be sad in my opinion. But I am still
There are Beatles
interested to check
songs
out this song.
in the catalog that were recorded without him.
Well, I
There
mean,
are a few.
they are a band to know to have a little bit of a drama between them occasionally.
Yeah. There was that time that he just up and said, "You know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
Goodbye."
I mean, you can that. By the way, guys, if you we covered it on the podcast, but if you haven't seen that, who did that movie? On it's
Peter
on Disney
Jackson.
Plus. It
Peter
was a Peter
Jackson.
Jackson movie. I want to
Yeah,
say Peter Jackson, but I was like, am I
he
getting
cut it
confused?
together. Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Jackson did a freaking Beatles documentary on the recording of
Let It Be and Abbey Road.
Let It Be. Yes,
Because
it
there
is
were songs that we heard from.
phenomenal.
Yeah, there were songs that we heard that were on both albums, Let It Be and
Mhm.
Abbey Road. But I think they
Yeah.
started with the Let It Be sessions, and those morphed into Abbey Road.
But yeah, it's a phenomenal movie. It's a long one, but it's well worth checking out. Yeah, someone like me I'm a fan of the Beatles, but I haven't gone into their really deep stuff. I pretty much know the albums. Someone like me, I love that movie. I thought it was great. That's right. Yeah, Sean Connery did insult the Beatles and Goldfinger too. That's a good catch, Piper.
Yeah, he did.
That was like one of the worst lines in Goldfinger, in my opinion.
But
Goldfinger's got some
James
issues, though.
Bond. James Bond insulted them.
Yes, true. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this song turns out. We will find out in 2 days, or I think it's the second. Is the second in 2 days or 3 days? It's 3 days, isn't it? It's Thursday. We're gonna find out on Thursday what this song's all about. Yeah, and their cover of "Twist and Shout" was solid.
Yeah, most of the covers of the older like rock tunes, like "Roll Over Beethoven," all of the Little Richard and Chuck Berry covers. Yeah,
yeah,
they're all great.
Let's see. Are we ready to dive into the main event?
Yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Ooh. So our first movie this week is the big one, the one that is blowing away all box office predictions. Although I was looking at it, I was like, it seems kind of about where I thought it was going to land, but okay. But yeah,
releasing it,
Freddy's.
Also releasing it on Peacock definitely hurt this movie. Movie companies need to stop releasing horror on streaming.
That is true. Like horror, you want that theater experience for horror.
You do.
It's not the same at home. You can kind of emulate it, but you gotta be careful. And yeah, the theater experience is better. So
admittedly, I watched it at home because I saw it was available.
I went to the theater and
okay.
I don't hate it, but like I'm not gonna lie, I did come out of the theater with a tremendous sense of meh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's
watching.
I know. Right
I
now,
hate to say this, but Willy's Wonderland did this better.
I don't know. Like I will say, I thought the animatronics I thought looked great when they were animatronics. Although it was funny, the one at the end, I was like, man, that really looks like they were kind of lazy and just put a guy in the suit. And then, it was in the story.
They did just end up putting a guy in a suit. Yeah,
it was literally supposed to be a guy in a suit. I was like, oh. That explains it. Yeah, no, I thought the actual animatronic, the Freddy Fazbear and then the other little creatures, I thought those were decent.
Yeah, they looked good.
And I thought for me, the story started good and ended decent. But there's this middle section, the whole second act, where there's just crushingly little conflict. Like you get that like horror scene where the people break into the Freddy's place at the beginning,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, now we're getting started, and then it like all stops, and then
It just
everybody's
pumps the brakes
friends for
again.
most of the movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I
whoa, wait.
I kind of hated that too. I was just like, wait, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, there was nothing until we got
Now,
to
now
that
the
act.
story that they drove with the Watchmen and like the personal story that they were telling with that, all that was good. I had no
Yes.
problem with that or anything. It was just the execution is what I really
Yeah. No,
didn't care for.
I thought the actors were all great here. I haven't seen Mary Stuart Masterson in a long time, and she got to play like the bitch aunt who's trying to take
She was
well
such a
the
bitch.
yeah, she's the basic story is essentially you have Josh Hutcherson is an orphaned well, he's an adult, but he's orphaned and he is raising his younger sister. And you have this aunt who is trying to take her away because he is barely scraping by. He's got foreclosure notices and all types of stuff. So he goes to a job, dude. I can't think of what they're called, but yeah, I don't know, but he
Temp
gives him
service?
yes, temp service. Yes, thank you. He goes to temp service. They give him he's like, we have this one job, and he's like, I can't do overnights. And he's like, okay. And then later he buckles down and says, okay, I'll do overnights. And he gives him this job at Freddy Fazbear's, a kiddie restaurant that was closed down a while ago because of children that went missing there. Not creepy at all.
No,
And
not at all.
It partially is it's from the models from the video game, but I think they do a really good job recreating the models and giving the models kind of this sense of friendliness, but also turning them creepy as fuck when needed. I think that's well done in the movie. Like I said, my biggest issue is the storytelling.
Yeah, I can
That
agree.
second act.
That's my biggest issue with this too is the storytelling.
Yeah,
Now I know that this movie spent a lot of time in production hell.
Mhm.
Like I know that the creator and the owner of the IP of Freddy, he didn't like any of the stories that were presented. This was the one that finally got the okay.
And I think the overall story is okay, but like there's this they don't have enough conflict going on. It just feels like the second act, like you don't really see the aunt that much, and it just the brother going to Freddy's at night, and he eventually buckles and takes the sister because the babysitter goes missing. We later find out. Well, we don't later. The audience knows.
We find out. We know
He
immediately why.
later finds out that she's dead, but he has to take her to his job site where. To his experience at that point, nothing really happened. So it's like, fuck it. Yeah, go ahead. Come on. And yeah, and that's when they meet the animatronic creatures that have life of their own. And there's this cop woman who stops by and is like, oh, you just need to, they're all friendly, but you need to keep her away. And it's, that might be part of my problem with the story too. I feel like her character's inconsistent because, like, for the first half, it seems like, oh yeah, everything's fine. You just need to be nice and friendly. And all of a sudden, the second half, it's like you have to keep them away. That's a dangerous place. It's like, huh? What?
And then they drop that and make her a romantic interest, and don't go back to that beat again. Like,
yeah, it's
it was.
Maybe it's supposed to be because, like, okay, spoilers. She's being manipulated by her dad, and then eventually she breaks out. Maybe that's the story they're going with, but it doesn't really come through particularly well.
No.
Talking about actors, Mary Stuart Masterson was great here, but Matthew Lillard is pretty awesome here too. Just the weird, quirky guy. Yeah, like he's great in everything. I swear to God,
Yeah, he is great in everything. It's hard to find a bad performance from Matthew Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Sawa, like it's hard to find a bad performance from either of them.
But
I so much of this was just so predictable, and I kind of really don't like when a scary movie takes that route and makes everything super predictable. To me, it's like you're insulting your audience.
Yeah.
kind of spoon feeding them everything. And I mean, I haven't played the game, so I'm not familiar with the lore of it, but I get the gist of it. I mean, I'm old enough to at least remember having or at least going to one or two birthday parties at a Chuck E. Cheese, as I'm sure you are too.
Yes.
I can recall one in particular where they were kind of creepy. And I remember for a long time, like one of them in the bandstand didn't really move. So he'd just sit there
Yeah.
while the rest of the band is playing. I
You always have
remember
that one that
being,
doesn't move right.
yeah, or he would start moving and they would stop. And I remember as a kid being kind of creeped out by that, but not really. But they're creepy. Even thinking about like a place like that now as an adult is a little bit, they're like, it's fucking terrifying. All right.
But I guess, like, yeah, you bring up how it's predictable, and it really is. I mean, that's almost part of my problem because I feel like going into this movie, it's like, okay, like Act One sets up the movie I think I'm gonna get. Then Act Two spends probably maybe not three quarters, maybe 2/3 to half the movie trying to almost convince you that that's not the movie you're gonna get. That somehow like these animatronic things are friendly and they're just it's a weird dichotomy going on. And then the third act is probably like, oh yeah, you know that movie you thought you were going to get that we were pretty much telegraphing at the first act? Yeah, this is that movie. It's like, oh, kind of already figured that one out, but okay.
Yeah. And like I'll say that the mix between CG and practical was really good. And
Yes.
obviously the scenes where they needed to use CG, it wasn't too noticeable. It was obvious, but it wasn't like shockingly like Flash bad.
Willy's Wonderland gets our shout out.
Yeah, that was my first thought on it. I'm gonna make sure I say that right. Yeah, Primex. I think Willy's Wonderland just did it better. But another thing that makes that I think is interesting about this, I remember this movie getting greenlit because I remember people I know getting super excited because they like were avid fans of the game. But in that time, it was in production hell and also COVID. There's been like one or two ripoffs of this that came out before Five Nights. It was Willy's Wonderland, the Banana Splits, and I'm sure there's another one. I can't think of it, but still, though, like parodies or ripoffs came out before the actual property. That just
it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I still think Willy's Wonderland did it better. I enjoyed that one more.
What I'm learning from this is that I need to watch Willy's Wonderland.
Yes, you do.
But
Nicolas Cage doesn't say a word the entire movie. He uses his face to act.
But yeah. I mean, Troy, kind of our take is that it's not dreadful. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I just feel it drags a bit in the second act.
Yeah.
Kind of
I didn't hate it or anything like that. Just parts of the storytelling really just annoyed me.
I think it's a decent first act and a decent, albeit predictable, third act, and the second act where I'm just kind of bored.
Like
that's kind of
all the gore and scares were great. I enjoyed all that.
Yeah,
that second act just tanked it for me.
For a PG-13, I think they handled the lack of blood fairly well. It wasn't really noticeable because like there's a couple moments where you do get blood and it's like whoa,
it's like it
handles it decently, yeah.
And this is a PG-13 movie, so I was with the amount of blood and gore that they showed, I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay, cool. PG-13's going there now. Excellent.
True. But yeah.
Can't be like the wild days of PG in the 80s, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a PG movie's allowed some boobs.
Yeah, at least one F-bomb.
But yeah. I won't recommend it, but it's not the worst thing ever.
It's not the worst thing ever. But speaking of the worst thing ever,
are we going to Child's Play?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. I did tell you.
I really didn't like this. Okay, so let's just get some positives out of the way. I think Mark Hamill is the voice of Chucky. I love it because he just kind of plays it as like this nice, friendly robot doll. and occasionally he fucking kills you, but he does it in the same like nice, friendly robot doll voice. I fucking love it.
Yeah, that loved his performance. Was fucking
You get
great.
you get Aubrey Plaza as the mom. You get Ryan Tyree Henry as Mike the cop. You can't go wrong with them. I
No.
think the kid that did Andy was great.
Yeah.
This story, I think had this story was hampered by the fact that it was never going to be as much fun as the original, and it never could be.
No.
But
well,
even with the story limits it already set for itself, it didn't even work for me.
Well, the thing about I got a whole thing about it, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, like I said, I like probably like a half hour into it, I'm checking the time. I'm like, oh fuck, we're only a half hour in. God damn it! Like this movie drags. Like, and that's something I cannot like. This is like the same length as the original Child's Play. They're both like 90 minutes, but the first one's like a breezy, fun 90 minutes. Like this goofy fucking doll is out killing people. It's taking it seriously, but you just have fun with it. Like you can tell it's like in the story, in the universe it's serious, but like everybody's having fun with it. And then this one, like I guess you could argue the same thing, but it's at least from the audience perspective, it's not nearly as much fun. It's lots of frustration. Like I understand like there's this whole subplot that is thankfully dropped quite literally when Chucky's first victim, Andy has his head and he puts it in wrapping paper so he can run it to the garbage. But when his mom catches him, he comes up with this excuse that it's a present he's making for the fucking neighbor. So he gives it to the neighbor, but then he's like, oh yeah, don't open it till my birthday. And then I assume that's supposed to be funny, but I just found it incredibly frustrating. Just no.
Just that whole scene.
Just the whole subplot was just like, fuck. No.
Yeah. Padding in the worst type of way.
Jesus, I need to watch Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, dude. Like for real. I can't pay for it to come on the show because after I saw it, I was like, dude, we have to cover this.
I missed that. Like I said, just add to the agenda, and I will.
Oh no, I will. Yeah, we add it in somewhere.
But
okay. So I know that after creator Don Mancini released his 2 on Netflix, he also announced the series Chucky coming out. And shortly after that, or around the time, I may have this timeline mixed up, Universal announced this movie. And there was a bit of a legal battle back and forth between Don, who owns the intellectual property of Chucky, and the story of Child's Play. He just doesn't own the rights to the name Child's Play. They were able to use a license. He's like, okay, cool, but as long as you don't do anything that rips, don't remake my movie. Is just all he said. Don't remake my movie.
Okay.
You can't use any of the original elements, so that's why there's no voodoo. That's why there's no Charles Lee Ray. You know, but Andy, that and the cops' names were what they could use, I believe. And this is what, but they told him, Don, or I think they first asked for permission for all. And they told him with their idea of the computer and AI, he's like, that's not Child's Play and Chucky. Okay, just do that and that or something. Some agreement or something was made. Yeah.
Because it does like, okay, so like the doll kind of has a Chucky look, but it's creepier, honestly, in this.
It is a little more unsettling.
CGI. Yeah.
And like when the animatronic face would freeze up, I know that there were moments that were meant to be scary. They were too fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like when he attacks or when he kills the cop's mom. Like, it's just I lost it. I thought it was just too funny. And I have seen this one before, but this rewatching it, I didn't care for it. I hated it the first time. I didn't hate it as much. I was able to laugh at more of it.
Maybe on rewatch I will be a bit more sympathetic to it if I ever rewatch it, because like I said, I did not enjoy this. Like I think especially
I took away a lot of the blow last week. When we were 2 weeks ago when you were talking about it.
2 weeks ago we watched the 88 one. I was like, I've never seen this before, but you know what? This is fun. I
Yeah,
have fun with this. This is awesome. And
I'm
then
really
going into
happy
this one,
you
like,
enjoyed that
fuck,
one. Yeah,
fuck.
and you're like, I'm really excited to see Mark Hamill say some voodoo crap. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, about that.
Dude, he has to.
Yeah,
No,
I agree, Troy. I absolutely agree. If it was called something else or just like My Buddy,
yeah, that's true.
would have been a better
Maybe if
movie.
it was just called, yeah, maybe Buddy Doll, and obviously they'd have to change the look because he totally has a Chucky look.
Yeah, if they made him actually look like the My Buddies.
Yeah, maybe actually give him a friendly doll look, and then think of ways to make that friendly doll look evil. Because
But
I mean, you could always make that argument for Chucky. He never looked like a particularly friendly doll. This
I
one just
did
takes it
enjoy,
much worse.
yeah, no, but I did enjoy some of the stuff they did with this, though. I did enjoy that, like how he could link up to everything.
Yes,
And
yes,
AI.
that
It's
was an
kind of almost
interesting
a
idea.
cautionary tale of it in a way, but you know, it's doing something that another movie did a better job of proving that point, Terminator. But
I mean, what would you rather
final-
watch, Terminator 1 or 2 or Child's
Well,
Play?
I don't know. I mean, it was
2019?
like kind of like with the cautionary tale of Terminator, but it had the same finale as Gremlins. So you know, they if you really want to break it down, it did borrow a lot
Yeah.
from the genre.
I would much rather spend the extra time and watch those movies.
I would rather watch a crossover of Gremlins and Terminator. Oh wait,
Yes,
we did. But oh man, I liked him linking up and hooking up to all the drones and having them attack everything and attack that mall full of people or that shopping center store full of people or whatever. I enjoyed that. That final end piece was great and very entertaining. But it's already living up to a lot. And I mean, Hamill is a great actor.
Yeah.
So is Dorff, and I really have a hard time comparing and trying to say who did the role better.
Well, I think for their because I think for me it's almost easy to separate the two because they're very different. Like Dorff is literally just playing a serial killer in a doll.
Yeah.
And technically Mark Hamill is, but Mark Hamill is legit just a doll. He's not a dude or anything. He is legit just a doll. And I think he allowed them their performances to really stand on their own because I think they're both great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hamill just plays it legit just like a robot, just learning human weird stuff.
I mean, he was more convincing than Slipstream, but
Slipstream. I almost forgot about that.
A blonde goateed Hamill.
He was the highlight of that movie for sure. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Child's Play 2019 at all. If anything, like watching this just made me want to go back and watch the 8-8 one again, which was just so much more fun.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hopeful for this one. Although, like, a lot of my hopes were dashed when I learned Mark Hamill wasn't doing fucking voodoo. He just had to crush my hopes and dreams on that.
I know.
It's like, fuck, what?
That's definitely one of the better moments from this year.
So sad.
Oh, it had a lot of great ideas and things they did.
Yeah.
They just didn't execute it that well.
Well, I mean, I think it's dark comedy, I think, can be very tricky. And I think the first one actually handles it kind of amazingly well. Not perfectly, but pretty fucking well. For the most part, it's like scary, but being goofy at the same time. And it handles it really well. And this, you just don't get that as much. It just, there's scares and gore, but it just, maybe when I rewatch it, I can define it better, but it just doesn't work for me at all. As we go.
Yeah.
Like, I like Mark Hamill, and I think the cast did a solid job, but
it misses a lot. It misses more than hits.
And yeah, and I think I think Troy even said it, like, maybe if it wasn't called Child's Play, maybe if I didn't have Child's Play on my mind watching this, I'd be like, well, crazy killer doll, okay, this could be fun. But yeah, comparing it to Child's Play was just too high in order. It fails.
Yeah. It's well, it kind of proves the thing, like most remakes suck.
This isn't helping the case.
This isn't helping the case, guys. Evil Dead did such great groundwork. I'm not saying the remake of Evil Dead is better. I mean, visually, yeah, but they were made at different times.
Well, that's a good point too, because I would actually argue the remake of Evil Dead was totally decent, but
yeah, it was absolutely perfect. I had no problem with it whatsoever. I enjoyed it,
but not Child's Play.
Yeah, no, not this one. Not this one.
I guess anything else to add before we go on to Lower Decks?
Yeah, let's get on to the joy of the show.
Oh, the most terrifying thing we watched this week was Lower Decks Season 3. This was just so scary.
This actually had a lot. Terrifying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like shock and awe. I even had to watch it in 2 sittings. It was so traumatic.
Well, I will say, especially when we get to the finale, this one probably has the most death of Lower Decks so far we've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, this one had
Everything was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I was like, wow. This is why I like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Sending right here.
No, it's Lower Decks is just constantly having fun. And we get some great characters coming back for this season. Obviously the biggest highlight being the Deep Space Nine episode where they just go Deep Space Nine and they meet up with Kira and Quark is up to no good. Shocking, I know.
Yeah.
Quark is always
he's a crook.
killer society.
Oh my god. Yeah,
what a twist. Who saw that one coming?
If it wasn't so late at night, I was about to text you like court quotes. Like just the ones that I thought were hilarious.
But yeah, this is what the episode opens, and it's Freeman being arrested for the Packlet planet explosion.
Yeah. Actually, when this started, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That is where we left off."
And of course, the reveal of what actually happens fits like so perfectly with what we know of the Packlets that they blew up their own planet and framed Freeman for it to get revenge on her. And it's like,
I don't even need to see it play out.
Are stupid.
Yeah, it was like, I don't even need to see the play it out. That makes absolute perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, of course they would do that.
Of course.
They're so fucking stupid.
We had Boimler the Bold.
Yes. Oh yeah, we had what? Oh yes, Peanut Hamper. We have to talk about Peanut Hamper, the best character of the entire series. Oh my god,
that was hilarious.
So just to remind you guys, Peanut Hamper is this exocom. The exocoms are from an episode of TNG where it's like this little tool that became sentient, so it became its own life form. And we've been following up with this exocom called Peanut Hamper, who had this big hero moment in the end of season 1 and chose rather to run away rather than do anything heroic. And in this season, that Peanut Hamper gets a whole episode dedicated to him, and it's and you think you're watching it because they end up crash landing on this planet of a primitive like bird-like society, and like Peanut Hamper is like helping them evolve, and even gets into a relationship with the bird creatures, which is totally a Lower Decks thing.
Yeah, all of it was just like. It was actually around that moment where I was like, wait, we haven't seen a single original cast member in this episode yet. Like, wait a minute. I had to look at how far I was into the episode going, oh my gosh, we've almost watched a full episode without the cast.
But then the primitive planet gets attacked, then Peanut Hamper saves the day. And then the Cerritos crew comes by and is like, Peanut Hamper, you did a great job. Thank you. And it's all revealed that Peanut Hamper told the aliens to attack so that they could save the day. It was this plan by Peanut Hamper to get credit and go back to Starfleet. And then when like they actually came under threat again, Peanut Hamper runs away again. And it's like, oh my god, I hate this character, but this is hilarious. Yeah, that was a great episode. Oh yeah, and Peanut Hamper does eventually get arrested, and we get the second appearance of Jeffrey Combs' computer, which is always a welcome appearance.
I as soon as that voice came on, I was like, "That's Jeffrey Combs."
Yes,
that's right. He was in this show. That's like his 14th appearance, I think, in this show or in Star Trek in
Oh,
general.
in Star Trek, yeah. Well, he played 3 characters in Deep Space Nine. 2 were recurring, and then he had an appearance in Voyager. Then he had a recurring character in Enterprise, and that might be his most appearances actually. And then yeah, now he's popped up in this show.
So
and
5. So he's had 5 different roles.
At least.
At
There
least.
might be more. Or actually, you know what? There was another one shot he did on Deep Space Nine, so at least 6.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of roles on Deep Space Nine.
We don't deserve Jeffrey Combs.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he has so many roles on Star Trek, and all I'm thinking is, we could use more Jeffrey Combs, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Like, I think we could use more Jeffrey Combs in Star Trek.
Yeah.
I don't think we have enough. Is the problem?
Nah. I've always thought that he would have played a great Norman Bates. Like
Ooh.
yeah.
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 Yeah. That could be rechanneling back to Anthony Perkins. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, he could channel it. He could definitely channel it.
For sure, yeah. Jesus, yeah. Like if this was like, yeah, even 20 years ago, sure, do it. Jesus, yeah. That you've got me thinking about Jeffrey Combs as Norman Bates now.
Yeah. Sorry.
I absolutely love it.
God. I think that's just the animation style.
What, the small hands? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just the animation style.
It's something you get used to. Like, I was not, like, I'm sure I brought up before, I was not ready. Like, I've seen a little bit of Star Trek the animated series, and I wasn't a fan, so I wasn't really anticipating
Really?
a Star Trek, the classic animated series.
Yes.
But I wasn't really excited to go back into animated Star Trek. But then I started watching Lower Decks and kind of instantly fell in love. So it's one of those series where it's like, if you don't know if you're going to watch if you're a Star Trek fan but don't want to go in because it's animated, just give it a shot. I swear to God, just give it a shot. It's great.
You'll stop thinking about it.
Yeah,
so fast
because it's just entertaining. And then yeah, the other big highlight episode off the top of my head. Well, there's any highlights you want to get to, Bob? Because I'm about ready to get into the finale.
Yeah. Okay. No, the finale is really where I'd want to go. Yeah.
So the finale is insane. Like, this is a kind of huge. So like, they make this new android style ship, or android
Texas
essentially
class.
It's an AI spaceship.
Yeah.
It's like a warship, and it's the ugliest fucking Federation ship I've ever seen. When it first popped up, I was like, oh, I hate that design. That is
like,
ugly as fuck. It's like, we've seen warships before. It's defined as badass design.
I mean, I knew it was like a Federation ship immediately, but it was just kind of
No, it had the common features where it looked kind of like it looked like a little pudgy Enterprise. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just ugly. And then those almost become the villains as the AI takes over, and the AI is kind of built on Rutherford's cybernetic parts. Yeah, I guess we didn't go into that. So apparently, Rutherford's cybernetics, which we've always been told were elective, and we kind of had clues that maybe something else is going on with it, but not much. But we find out they weren't elective, and part of his memory's been wiped.
Yeah, like we find so much about him in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, he's probably the character with the most going on this season. And so part of the AI is kind of built on his cybernetics. And we have this fleet of AI Federation ships that go rogue and kill a fuck ton of people.
There was a lot that built up to it, though. The captain was getting set up and put on some bogus mission that the admiral knew that they would come under attack, just so he could use it. So he used them for all of this, and also like put a reporter there too, put her life in danger as well. Like, a lot happened in that last episode. Oh man. But the Texas class.
She's not a fan. Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Say what you will about the Cerritos. I was happy with the California classes coming in and kicking ass.
Yeah, the entire California fleet came in. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Apparently, their max warp is 8, because that's what they said. We're going at our fastest speed, warp 8. It's like, man, California class is really not top line ship, is it?
No, but they back each other.
True, and that was a great moment to see them kind of all come together. So
Yeah.
it's just another great season for Lower Decks. I'm excited to check out season 4 next week.
Yeah,
but,
I am too. I am too.
Get all caught up with the latest season. But yeah, this is a great fucking show. I dig it. Absolutely worth checking out. Anything else you want to add, Bobby?
No, we got it all with that last
All
one.
right.
Yeah, like, the last episode was just best one of the whole. Actually, I don't know. It was hard for me to pick a favorite episode this season. They all were really good.
Yeah, no, they were all like the whole season. I thought was solid, and there's like I said, there's a couple in there that I just fucking loved. I love the peanut hamper one. I love. We did dive too deep into it, but the Rutherford one where we learn about his cybernetics and all that was wild.
That was
where he
wild
meets his
one,
younger
too.
self. That was awesome. The finale was obviously awesome. The Deep Space Nine one was great.
Them getting lost in the holodeck.
Yes, that's a great one to bring up
That was
too.
a
I love that.
Great one.
Because Boimler set up this whole story, and Tendi and Rutherford end up actually going on the story, whereas Boimler and dragging Mariner along with him, literally dragging. She doesn't want to go. She wants to go on the natural story route. He takes her on the story route that's not properly designed, that the holodeck has to make up as it goes, where they literally come across a guy who has a backstory because the story that was on his back. And I'm like, oh, this holodeck program is struggling.
Oh.
But that was a fun one too. Yeah, this whole season was pretty solid. No complaints. But next week we'll get caught up with the newest season. We'll get season 4 out of the way.
Gonna catch up on catch the last of the first season of Gen V.
We'll get all caught up on Gen V, and then we'll watch Captain Marvel, the movie from 2019 that no one on the internet has ever talked about before.
And those who have only said positive things.
Yes. Especially of the lead actress, Brie Larson.
Yes.
People
Nothing but complimentary
Brie
things.
Larson.
Nothing but complimentary things about Brie Larson.
As these are things that we could say factually because they're true.
Because they happen.
They're so true. Everybody loves Brie Larson on the internet. I guess maybe we'll dive a little bit into it. I think it's insane.
I don't get the hate.
I don't either. Listen, she has like cringe moments, but like overall, like a lot of the stuff she says is actually logical and makes sense. And I don't
like what
get
like
it.
as
Like
the character
on,
or as a person.
Yeah.
No. I'm asking.
Oh, it's mostly I think as a person, but like they'll go after the character too. They usually just call the character Brie Larson, which is fun.
What?
We can dive into it next week.
Yeah.
We had the Brie Larson hate wave really came to a head with Captain Marvel, and with the Marvels coming out, I'm sure they're going to try Chapter 2. I'm sure
they're going to attack the other 2 actresses who are fucking great.
Yeah, we will see, but that's all next week.
Hold on, I saw a comment I wanted to see from Mikkel. Lower Decks is a refreshing story to me from Rick and Morty. Yeah. Yeah, I do enjoy Lower Decks a lot more than Rick and Morty. I haven't honestly
I've
kind of
started
fell
Rick
off
and Morty
that.
a couple of times, but I haven't.
Yeah, I kind of
as much
lose
as I
interest
want
somewhere
to.
around the 3rd or 4th season.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of lost its humor to me and all, and it's another thing that a fan base can kill.
Yeah, it's
me
true.
liking
The Rick and Morty
personally.
fans are a bit much.
Yeah, and they're just I don't know. I kind of drew a line when their fans were assaulting fast food workers for Szechuan sauce.
That was retarded. I've worked at McDonald's. That shit's retarded. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say retarded. Forgive the use of the R slur, but that working at McDonald's, I had to experience that crap firsthand. It's Szechuan sauce. Move on, people. It's all over. Go to your local grocery store and pick up some Szechuan sauce. You're fine.
I would drag them out by the collar of their shirt. I would probably lose my job, but
yeah. It's not that rare of a sauce.
Like,
Move on.
I saw a video of a guy jumping up on the counter and screaming like, "Yeah, no, that's one good way to fall flat on your ass from the counter, bud."
Yeah, dude, if you get pushed off doing that,
No, I'd move his feet out from underneath him.
yeah,
Like, no.
I know you shouldn't, but I want to say that's fair game.
Yeah, they start disrespecting the house in terms of the restaurant. All bets are off, man.
Yeah, true.
That's the same guidelines as assaulting the staff.
Yeah. But yeah, that's well, not Rick and Morty, but
Yeah, no
Captain
Rick and
Marvel
Morty.
and Lower Decks and
Gen V.
Gen V next week. Captain
I'm
Marvel's gonna
excited.
be the older piece. That'll be the
Yeah.
middle one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Everything else
Yeah.
is new. All right. That'll be good fun.
No, I'm excited to get back into Gen V because, like, I
Yes.
was so ready to watch more of it when we covered it, and I was like,
Yeah, no, it's definitely a slow burn series. I thought the first episode was a little slow, but as it builds, I get more and more into it. So I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, once I get back into it, I'm
well,
just gonna
it's a lot
gonna
like The
build
Boys.
again.
How The Boys
Yeah.
started. Like, The Boys started, it's like, okay, I'm intrigued, but by the end of the first episode, like, oh man, yes, I'm hooked.
Yeah, but that'll be fun to check out. But yeah, until then, everyone have
care.
a good one.
Yeah.